that really is helpful is like somebody introduced their son. So this lady introduced her son to me, and I said, I thought you had two sons. I said, the older one is already asleep. So she opened the door and introduced the other son, saying, he is the sweetest child when he is asleep. And she went on to say, he is a Chota Ravanasur. So I couldn't stop myself. I said, which side of the genetics is playing strong? It must be genetic defect, right? Similarly, our mind is the most beautiful one when we are in deep sleep. When we wake up, all the problems start. In fact, when we talk about our own minds, we have issues with our minds that it has too many thoughts, too many uncontrolled emotions, too many patterns that it thinks into, cannot focus in the same environment that you want it to focus, runs away to various other environments. I have been teaching in this particular field for since 94, so quite a while. So as I am looking in the crowd, I can pretty much tell you how many of you are in here and how many of you are out from here. Like, in the doctor's offices, in and out. Similarly, and the beauty is, both eyes are open, looking intensely at you, but rather than looking intensely at you, they are looking through you. What is the difference between looking at you and looking through you? Is while I am shifting my glance from one side of the room to the other, I'm looking at all of you. Looking at me is when I am moving my eyes, your eyes also move with me. That means you are in. Sometimes there is a wide open spectacle there. Usually, and then I am looking at their eyes, but their eyes are towards my direction, but I am not the focal point. Somewhere in the infinity is the focal point. They are lost. So our minds, there are various trains of thoughts continuously flowing as long as we are awake. More than once, we have the ability to sustain ourselves in the present moment. But most of the time, these thoughts, emotions and ideas hijack us from the present moment. We are taken into a totally different realm. And it's pretty awkward when you come back from out to in. And that's usually when somebody is saying, the entire environment is laughing. So I get three kinds of laughter. So I start saying a joke. Probably you either know the joke already, or you have heard me say it already, or you have already assumed. You have been really very smart in trying to track what would be the final punchline, and in that assumption you have already started laughing. So this is first kind of laughter. I have not even finished the joke, they are already laughing. There are second one, after the delivery of the joke, they laugh, which is most of the crowd. Now the third category is that category wherein some of the mistake is mine too. Sometimes I say these jokes in Hindi and it has to be translated back into their language, and when it gets translated, and then, oh, and they start laughing. This is the third category. The fourth one are those who have gone out, just stepping in, look around, everybody is laughing, ask the neighbor, what happened? And then after explanation, they laugh. This is the fourth kind of laughter. So you know, even with the jokes, with the kind of interactions, whether you are in or you are out. So we have these various issues with our own mind. Again, let's go back to our basics. What does mind mean? What is the definition of mind? Do you agree with them? Okay, they didn't hear, so don't say it. Rest of you say it. Seat of emotions, true. River of thoughts, that's what they said. Continuous flow of thoughts. Continuous train of thoughts. This is our mind. If there is the mind continuously flowing with thoughts, is it something that we should be happy about, or is it something that we should work and mend our fences? So most of them, when they come to me saying that, my mind is so agitated, I have so many thoughts, I usually congratulate them that you have a healthy functioning mind system. Because by definition, when do you call it a mind? When there are continuous thoughts flowing, that is called mind. Technically, you have a sound mind. Meaning your mind makes a lot of sounds. You have a very sound mind. It's a very functional mind. But it also has to be marked, where are you with regards to that flowing train of thoughts? Are you a part of the flow, or are you away, separated from the flow? I think I have asked this question earlier too. Have you ever tried to walk across a freeway in US? Did I ask you this question here? I did, right? I am here. Yeah. That's the only day I felt that my purpose of wearing yellow was justified. Not once, but twice. And I'm glad talking to adults and not the kids here. Once I had one of the tires of the vehicle that I was driving burst. It was a 4 or 5 laner, and there was no shoulder on the meridian side, and I was on the fast lane. So we had to walk or move immediately from this side to that side. And my yellow clothes worked out awesome. Because people coming in that fast lane, there was always a risk of being hit if you are in the car. So I put my flashlights, and luckily the entire flow of the traffic was very sympathetic, stopped, paused, brief pause, that I could sprint across. And just those 4 lanes crossing, by the time I reached to the other side, I had beads of sweat. You may never know. You crossed one lane, but the other lane somebody thinks, it's okay, fine, and goes off in 60. आज मैं नहीं मेरा भूत होता. See, when you are in the traffic, to get out of the traffic, it's a very difficult task. I'm talking of a freeway here. But if you are already outside the flow, observing the traffic, it would not be of much concern. But for most of us, whether it is our emotions or ideas or concepts, opinions, options, we are so much into it, into the flow, that we don't even realize that we are a part of that flow. For most of us. For those of us who have just started, feel pretty irritated that I need to walk out of this restlessness, but I am caught up in the flow of restlessness. It's very difficult to walk from one side of the flow to the other side. To a side from where the flow exists, but I choose which part of the flow I use and which of it I let go. To reach to that kind of mastery over the mind, wherein mind doesn't matter. That you can turn on and off as easily as these lights, these gadgets. Now, some of these gadgets are remote controlled, right? Some of these houses that I have gone there and they have the entire lighting system, doors, everything on a remote. I said that's a pretty scary thought. As in a house, usually you keep searching for these remotes. And you miss this remote, a very important one. The whole house is hanging upside down. Because often I go visit houses and they have to turn on something, and at that time they are frantically searching for that particular remote, and they get all other remotes except that one. So we have those remotes wherein you can turn on and off. Kids do that effectively with parents. You try talking to them, you try reaching out to them. At will, they have already turned you off. They have that fake guilt kind of a thing. And you turn around or they turn around, nothing has gone in, nothing has penetrated in. The selective hearing. Similarly, we can be very selective with our thoughts. That is when it becomes our asset. Until then, our minds are liabilities. Why is it a liability? How many times a day do we eat? 3 to 4 times? Average 4 times? 3? Okay, average 3. मध्ये मध्ये soda samarpayami, coffee samarpayami, tea samarpayami. How many times coffee, tea? 3, 4 times? Oh, that too American bucket size. They are not cup size, they are bucket size. Wow. I was thinking average 2, but 4 is pretty high. Anyway, madhye madhye 4 times samarpayami. Then some kind of friends and gathering, and they say just had it. One more doesn't matter. And the food that we eat nowadays is usually high in proteins, high in vitamins, high in calories. Everything is high. Very rich food that we have. At least the crowd that I am speaking to right now. Good rich food, rich with all these required stuff. In spite of that, after they say, the doctors here, are there any doctors here? Okay. No, there is one doctor. They really scare you in this country. After 30, you start, you are almost strongly suggested to take vitamins. What is this? With zinc, with silver. I'm not getting the name. Centrum. What is that? One. For men, women, for 30, for 40, for 50. We keep popping in those vitamins and minerals, and what is the kind of effort that we put? Is it really slogging physical kind of work, which takes maximum energy? Usually it is, the way I tease is, the maximum movement this body gets, that's the maximum exercise. And even that we do it, we overdo it, so we have some tunnel. So there is a tunnel syndrome developed through and through. We don't work that much physically. We eat all rich food, backed up with all these Centrum and all vitamins and zinc. But even after the day has started, just started, and then there are people popping in those Lal, the Red Bull, energy drinks. Just for the heck of it. This was 6 years ago. I did drink one Red Bull just to test it. I was at somebody's house and said, "What is this energy drink?" Some of the teenagers had it. It doesn't have alcohol? I said, "No." Fine, I drank. Next 2 hours, I think I'm already hyper, but this added in. I overheard somebody said wired. I was double wired. I was so hyper. At the end of 2 hours, I felt so drained that I made a mental note never to touch these things again. So we have these energy drink support. So when we have so much of energy coming in to this body system, where is that much of energy leaking? So you have a glass, you're pouring water and it doesn't fill. It should make some logical sense, right? Then why is it not? Any time. In fact, it is so pathetic that when we wake up saying that we are tired. You just snored through the entire night. You just woke up and you wake up saying, "Ah, I'm still tired." What happens to all this energy? So there are 11 gates. 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action, and 1 thought stuff. Whether it is emotions or ideas or concepts, opinions, options, they are all thoughts. None of these 11 have any kind of balance anywhere. Why I see what I see, why I hear what I hear, why I speak what I speak has no reason whatsoever. And that is why the masters have always said, common sense is the most uncommon thing in this world. Because if we did have that, everything that we do, it would have had a perfect reasoning as to why I am doing whatever I am doing. But it seems like I end up doing things either out of my own habitual practice or because something which I cannot stop, it just keeps happening. And my emotions are never in control. Whether it is anger, passion, jealousy, hatred, they're all pretty high up there. Because of which, though I earn so much of energy every single day, with least effort put at the physical level, not having balance on these 11 aspects, we feel completely drained. And that is the liability. If we can gain control over this mind, catch my thought very carefully. If we gain mastery over this mind and raise our mind to a certain level of focus and concentration, we'll have so much of energy that we would not require pep talks to enthuse us to do our regular daily mechanical chore. Thank you. I was anyway going to India. I was short of $50. That is the penalty you end up paying. Mute it at least. Why am I being lenient? Because I am seeing her for the first time. If it were earlier, then I would have already taken charge. So if we can balance this mind, we would have so much of energy abundantly available that all the happenings in our life cannot touch us, pull us down to give us the swings. You know what these swings are called? Moodha swings. I like that word because one half of it is Sanskrit, the other half is English. Who has mood swings? Only Moodha has swings. Do I need to translate Moodha? I can go pretty elaborate on that. So if we have a swing, that means we don't have that ability, that control, which we should have had. Now, out there in the world, our constant effort is to have everything under our control. Sad, except our own mind. The husband thinks the wife, children, everybody in the house should be under control. The wife thinks the husband, children, in-laws, outlaws, everybody should be under the control. It's a constant effort that everybody around should be under my control. But do you have yourself under control? And that is the liability. And how do we train our mind? How do we reach to that mind so that we pull ourselves out of the flow and then handle that flow? This is where our spiritual processes begin once you understand this much. To turn it into an asset. One of the initial processes of spirituality that any seeker is initiated into is called japa. Japa does not mean a mechanical process of repeating the Lord's name. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. What are you doing? Japa. Or then there are people who have a lot of flavor in chanting, like Hanuman Chalisa, Vishnu Sahasranam, and they have a competition with whom I don't know yet. 108 times Hanuman Chalisa, Parayan. At what time you reach into that Parayan, you can very easily say what number is going on. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja. Either they are beginning or ending. That is why they are in such good pace. If they have crossed 50, even the Panditji, when you go to the temple, morning first archana, Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om. But the time you come to the time wherein their shift is ending, what did you say? Japa is not such a mechanical process of repeating something out of obligation. Japa is something that has to go in sync with breathing. That is when it is highly effective. Challenge. Make a sensible sound. Okay, I'll give you the word also. Say Hari Om while you're breathing in. Okay, say Hari Om. Like this, say while you're breathing in. Come on. $100. Bet. Where is she? I would have given $50 from there. अरे हाय 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 मेरे $50 चले गए. It is impossible to make a same kind of sound that you usually talk while you are breathing in. Plus, now when your mind is calm, how is your breathing? It is slow, it is steady, it is deep. Have you seen somebody agitated? The best to watch is when you are getting angry, watch yourself in the mirror. You look so ugly that you will never want to get angry again. Try it, seriously. How do we control anger? See yourself in the mirror. Or, when your spouse is getting angry, show the mirror. Narayan, Narayan. Do it at your own risk. अरे दूसरे के घर में जाके क्या करोगे? रामा रामा. भले you try it at your home, not at somebody else's house. I know what you meant. When we sync with our breath and chant the name of the Lord, all the unnecessary agitations, emotions, flow of thoughts are reduced to minimal. And the continuous effort to repeat the name of the Lord, it ensures that even those other trickling emotions that which we might get hijacked by are removed by this consistency in practice. So what is the entire process? You have to sit straight, take a deep breath, not with your mouth open, with your nostrils only, and then chant the name of the Lord loud enough that you can hear yourself. It should not be that as though you are disturbing the entire world around. You don't need to be on a PA system shouting out, trying to tell everybody that you have become a seeker. Just do it for yourself, that you can hear, and repeat the name, and do it for 15 minutes. You will see the immediate impact on yourself. What name of God? It does not matter what name you take. Whatever name of God that you like. If you do not have, just say Om and see the impact. The rest of the process, after we meet in next academic year. The reason is I am leaving for India tomorrow, and tomorrow is 11th, and I'll be coming back on 20th of July. So I'll not be here while the session ends, because we have an international conference of all the Acharyas, Swamis of Chinmay Mission. So we have almost like 400 of us. So the entire ashram will be with all oranges and yellows. If somebody comes there not knowing the name of the Swami and says, Swamiji, there will be 400 heads turning around. So once in 4 or 5 years we meet to discuss various administrative organizational issues. So that has been organized this year from May 18th through 23rd. So I'll be leaving 1 week ahead, because I have also certain things to present there. So we'll meet after the Bal Vihar session opens. Until then, try doing this japa, or else you will find me repeating the same lesson again next year. You will remind me next year, right? We have a good bookkeeper here. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Next week will be the demo for the online registration process. I know those of you who are here will come next week also, but it is important to let those of them who are not here but you know of them, remind them to be here, because we don't want further complications. Make sure everybody is here so that we can learn a newer, easier, faster process. Hari Om.